afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Langres. And we shall be having a bit of a treat for you. We shall be having Donniechan fighting for the Commonwealth, the 11th Armoured Division, going up against Eweee. Well, that was a bit more of an anticlimactic name, but fighting for the Panzer Elite, taking on the fight in the name of the 9th SS Panzer Division, Frundsberg. So, should be a bit of an interesting fight right here on the fields of Langres, featuring some of the less featured factions. Should be some interesting stuff here, and we are seeing going straight here for the fuel, nothing unusual there. Lieutenant heading westwards, and truck is already on the move for Mr. Chan. At the same time, some more bold, aggressive movements going on from Eweee, and the Panzer Elite might be there, in fact, be trying to harass right here. Schwimmag moving out. Panzer Grenadiers equipped with a Gewehr 43. Second squad of Panzer Grenadiers following up. A bit behind, though. And there we go. Taking up positions by the barn. Might even storm into it. And there we go. Taking up fine positions from the barn. And we are seeing the Schwimmag pushing into the Recce troops. We are seeing the truck moving in. And the troops are moving away. Fuel point being secured. And he's moving up there to take the munitions. Huh. One wonders if he perhaps might not be a bit AFK here. Since he's... I mean, it rather seems like he's a bit on... Well, that's not very nice. That's not very nice at all, Mr. Chan. Brits are quickly dying here, getting gunned down by the Panzer Grenadiers. Lieutenant, though, continues up the west. Will they make it out of the clutches of the Panzer Grenadiers? The second Schwimmag, by the way, moving out very far to the west. One more Brit is down to one man, down to one very lonely Tommy. Going for the munitions. Bit of a bold raid, and question is what rather happened here, since this was clearly not what was supposed to happen here for Donniechan. But nonetheless, he has to deal with it. Well, I'm sure he wished he didn't have to. Third squad of Panzer Gunners ready for Eweee. Munitions falling, fuel falling. Always this... Well, at least he didn't tell us what he was browsing at, but nonetheless, a good lesson for everyone. Don't browse. When you're in the beginning of a match, you never know what might happen. Even in the first few minutes of a match. So, very nice little maneuver right there by Eweee. Definitely threw Donniechan very much off his track. He is reinforcing, he is getting more troops out to fight for King George, but definitely that put him under a bit of pressure. And meanwhile, Panzer is taking up positions, taking points. Of course, they might want to connect all of this, so that will mean even more resources for the Panzer Elite. Kampfgruppe Company up there for Eweee. And we are immediately seeing a Panzer support compound going up for him as well. 9th and 10th SS Panzer Divisions were one of the... Well, some of the last divisions actually to be raised. They were largely composed, I think, of ethnic Germans from Hungary or Romania. They were in fact formed in Normandy as the 2nd SS Panzer Corps, and they actually had a bit of a slight detour to the Eastern Front to try and contain some of the madness going on there before they were quickly sent back to Normandy to try and deal with the British there. So they actually saw a bit of action, and of course they were also the ones to then fight against the British and Americans doing Operation Market Garden, or well, what remained. But we are seeing Donniechan pushing forward, and there we go. Third section ready now for Donniechan, getting back with a British vengeance. His cup of tea was spilled, and now Chan seeks vengeance. And some milk. Panzer is taking up positions, firing down on the Brits as they move forward to retake territory in a manner not quite gallant, but certainly a bit reckless. There we go, one poor Tommy bites the dust. Another Panzer squad going up. Nothing from the Panzer Support Command. And meanwhile, the Schwimmag are taking most of the territory. Panzer Grenadier down for Eweee. Need to be careful. Vorsicht, Männer, Vorsicht. Die Tommy ist bis hier. And there we go, just continue fighting, and there we go, Panzer Squad needs to get out of there. Rückzug down to one man, he makes a run for it, and there we go, Donniechan advances with a lieutenant in support. Very large force going up there, and I think Eweee just needs to get the devil out of there. Instead, he's running into the barn. I think that's actually a pretty poor move, in particular since Donniechan just needs to take up position on the side with only one window. I mean, this is quickly going very, very bad for Eweee, and I mean, now he's going to have to, of course, retreat right past the Brits, of course, are going to take up position. There we go. 1/6 squad, I mean, already went down there. This was definitely a great mistake there for Eweee. He definitely blundered, and definitely has now given Donniechan quite the chance to recover from what was his own quite grand mistake. And we are seeing a 4th infantry section out, the 11th Armoured, really pouring out everything from their infantry brigade. And of course, the thing to remember about Allied Armoured divisions compared to the German Panzer Division was that they did not actually have as much infantry compared to the German Panzer Division. They were not quite as huge on the whole combined arms concept, and so they generally had a little less infantry, and usually the armour was also parcelled out to infantry divisions. So, fun little fact there. But the Panzer Command is flashing up. Panzer Grenadier Squad very much on its own now, sent out to face off against the Commonwealth's mighty forces now, with 20 men on the field. And we are seeing the field support truck arriving. We are seeing the Schwimmwagens doing a bit of harassment, hoping to deny resources. Schwimmwagens doing what they can to contain harassment, while the Brits are slowly advancing, taking territory, taking names for King George. And we are seeing what could be a very bad engagement for these Panzers, because they need to be careful. Although the Recce section also needs to be careful. They're going to go for the fleece, but the Panzers themselves are very low on health. So little health. Get out of there, Heinz, Fritz and Helmut. But nonetheless, they actually managed to really just shred through the Recce section, which was caught in the middle of the road. Another Panzer squad arrived to support. And there we go, the veterans in one for the lieutenant. Panzers quickly go down again. Be careful. Defense operations will definitely be a good upgrade for Eweee. Another Panzer squad moves out. They could try and focus down the lieutenant since he is out in the open. Lieutenant Jones clearly did not think that one through. Schwimmwagen moves forward, and there we go. Heroic charge straight at the Panzer Grenadiers. Quickly getting out of there. Still nothing going on for the Panzer Support Command. Clearly, I mean, Eweee has been forced to rather improvise something, and clearly whatever plan he had is not quite going as he wanted. And it looks like he could lose a Schwimmwagen, which would definitely be another boon to Donniechan. But there we go, Panzer Support Command flashing up, likely going either for the Panzer IV or the mighty Hotchkiss. We of course will be finding out soon enough. At the same time, casualty station going up for Donniechan. That's a good move. He's got plenty of ammunition, so of course Donniechan could consider upgrading some of his infantry section members with Bren guns. Or of course some sappers with Piats. Either way, we do have some sappers on the field, and there we go. In fact, we are seeing the Piat, the Projector Infantry Anti-Tank. Slightly less of a sensible name, more wobbling pronunciation. Had its abilities, but generally it was not really a hugely popular anti-tank weapon. It was also the only really spring-loaded one, at least one that can actually be wielded by infantry. And there we go, Panzer IV Infantry Support Tank. Earlier model of the Panzer IV with its lower velocity gun, which was how the Panzer IV was originally intended before they realized they needed higher velocity guns, and the Panzer III simply couldn't cut it. But there we go, shot going out, and we are seeing Donniechan getting really aggressive there. He's going for the cutoff point, and he's entrenching them, trying to ensure that Eweee can't get resource. I mean, it's a good move, because, I mean, now Eweee will be forced to get something to try and burn them out, either a mortar half-track or incendiary grenades for his Panzer Grenadiers. Of course, he also had Bren guns. He could really make it miserable for the Panzer Grenadiers who are going to be out in the open. A note there, also a 17-pounder gun going up there for Donniechan. Interesting, interesting. That's definitely going to be a headache. And of course, now he knows that, so of course he wants something to stop that Panzer IV. So the 17-pounder gun is definitely going to be a very excellent choice. Armoured skirts, by the way, up for the Panzer IV. No defensive operations up for Eweee. 11th Armour, though, continues, having certainly recovered and very aggressively now turned the tables on Eweee and the 9th SS. And we are seeing lockdown. We're seeing the sappers moving up, but the Panzer IV again has gone into lockdown mode. It's just firing away, and we're actually seeing the Brits abandoning the trenches, taking some nasty losses there. And I'm not entirely sure why Donniechan did it like that. Although I suspect now the Panzer gunners might actually have incendiary grenades, otherwise I don't think he would be moving his infantry forwards to support his Panzerkampfwagen 4. But question is, will there be also some defensive operations? Because no, his troops are very low on health, and that's something that will be very much to the advantage of Donniechan in the longer and shorter term. Let's go look at Eweee. Panzer IV find directly into the trench again. Note heavy losses amongst the Panzer gunners very quickly, simply because, I mean, they are so low on health, and he does not have defensive operations. He's not getting them healed. And there we go, quite delayed though. Finally an incendiary. Oh, the Panzer IV just shreds them, murders them, turns them into a bloody, meaty pulp. Quite nasty that. And clearly in that case, Donniechan was a bit too slow to try and escape the wrath of the Panzerkampfwagen 4, but Donniechan is quick to begin fortifying his own headquarters position with another 17-pounder gun. He has identified what the main threat is. That is the Panzer IV, and he's actually using a 17-pounder gun, in fact several, to try and lock it down, which is actually quite interesting. But again, defensive operations. Oh, and they're finally going up for Eweee, about verdammte time. Another trench being prepared just in case the Hun wants to go for the headquarters. And there we go, quickly manning it, then demanning it, and wrecking it in fact. 17-pounder gun though was quite a powerful anti-tank gun. One of the best in the war, definitely was quite feared, and the British was only attempting to mount it as many things as possible, creating amongst other things the Firefly, the Achilles, which was a Wolverine tank destroyer equipped with it. They even had the Archer, which was considerably more weird, and they also had some prototypes, including a Churchill tank equipped with it. So quite a few things there. Panzer IV, they're rolling out. Seems like he's being awfully cautious. No doctrine from him as of yet. Panzer gunner is moving out. And there we go, 17-pounder gun fires away. Panzer gunner is going to advance. Standing out in the middle of the road. Dual incendiary grenading. I think that was a bit of a waste of munitions. And there we go. Bren guns now just tearing into the Panzer Grenadiers and killing one squad outright. Now we are seeing Panzerschreck. We are seeing the Kampfgruppe Kompanie upgrade. As Eweee rather realizes you're going to need some Panzerschrecks to try and knock this out. Of course, he could also try with Martyrs, but he doesn't have that. So he obviously has to go with what he can actually get. Base getting blasted by Piat rounds. And there we go. Kampfgruppe Company upgrade. And there we go. Tank buzzers on the way. Panzer IV rolling out. Opening up on the Britisher and killing a few. But definitely Donniechan has the upper hand still. Though of course he has to sort of now try and push the advantage. At this stage he should probably likely try and get an armoured command truck. And go for some Cromwells, in which case he could probably, at this stage, deliver a death thrust to Eweee. Question is, of course, will he do it? Panzer gunner is moving up. Could get some Panzerschrecks, and there we go. The first tank buster. Another tank buster squad on the way. Panzer IV taking hits from the Piats as they fire over the hedgerows.
Receiving you, Commander.
And there we go. Sappers moving up. Firing away at the Hun with the Lee Enfield rifles. Mark 4s, I believe. At the same time, we're seeing an infantry assault going up there. Heroic charge straight at the Panzer IV. Talk about heroic. Buttoning down the Panzer IV. Clearly intending for the Sappers to move out and finish it off. The question is, will be able to pull it off in time. Panzer is doing what they can. Panzer IV doing what he can to try and get out of there. Panzer gunner squad will give air 43 down, but looks like the Panzer IV has been unbuttoned. And looks like Eweee will be taking advantage of Donniechan's advance over here to move in the tank busters towards the right hand side. He's going to be moving in after that 17-pounder gun.
The enemy's advances on our victory points. Forward supply lines are broken.
So a bit of a bold move there.
Anti-supply lines are broken. Ready territory out of supply.
And there we go. 2 rockets connect with the 17-pounder gun. and do some nice and nasty damage. At the same time, XP repairs going up. That's definitely going to help. And we are seeing the machine gun being upgraded and on the Panzer IV. Then he cancels. Oh yes, there we go. And there we go. The 17-pounder gun is scorn, opening up the right-hand side to the Panzer IV and any support infantry. At the same time, Captain Jones is out, looking a bit angry. And we do see the Panzer gunners with Panzerschrecks moving up. Opening up right there on the captain. Panzer IV advances. Likely going to try and stop that 17-pounder gun from going up, so Donniechan can't, for starters, lock him down completely inside his base. And there we go. It is cancelled. The Panzer IV, though, is forced back by heavy Piet rounds. Field support truck coming under nasty fire. And we do see Donniechan moving in most of his infantry to try and deal with this Hun threat behind his own lines. But does not quite succeed in getting there in time. And I do believe we do see a Donniechan, but it's hard to tell since all the icons, they're pretty much the same for the Panzer Elite. Never quite sure what that was supposed to happen. But Panzer Gun is on the run. Eweee moving up the right-hand side. Panzer IV getting repaired again, but with expert repairs, of course, it will happen faster, so less downtime. And there we go, the 17-pounder gun is up here now, after some disruption from the Hun. So another heavy anti-tank piece ready. And the Schwimmwagen right here coming under fire as the British advance. Donniechan definitely holding most of the map, but he is not quite invulnerable either. Again, I think he needs to go for some armor, because currently that is what really can give Eweee pause. Another trench going up. 17-pounder gun firing away. And the 17-pounder gun is coming under fire. And we are seeing artillery going in. That means Canadian Royal Artillery going in, and we are seeing Officer Artillery by the looks of it. A much maligned ability for good reason, since it means artillery can go in a bit quickly. But not a lot of Panzer gunners go down to this one. We are seeing sappers quickly setting about repairing the 17-pounder gun. That's definitely going to be a bit of a problem. And we are now seeing a mortar half-track on the way. Leichte Schützenpanzerwagen mit Granatenwerfer. Trench is going down again. Donniechan definitely doing his best to dig in and definitely hold out the Panzer Elite. Definitely, I mean, it's some very rare Commonwealth play to see, actually. And there we go, Panzer goes once more. Just take an absolute thrashing from the artillery, pushed away. But we do see the mortar after gun. We do see that the 17-pounder gun, by the way, is very damaged. It's slightly burning away. So mortar half-tracks, successful barraging could pull out alright.
Enemy unit has fallen.
Oh my goodness, entire section went out right there. Piet left behind. Another section went down. Donniechan's sappers are just taking terrible casualties. And we are seeing an attendant laying down a Vickers machine gun equipment to protect against Panzer Gunners' direct assault with Panzerschrecks, but it's simply too late. And there we go, the 17-pounder gun can't stand up to it much longer either. Since the sappers meant to repair are gone, and there we go, the 17-pounder is dead. Heroic charge up. I'm not entirely sure though what's supposed to do here, since, well, there's not really much moving to be done. And just a ton of artillery going in, and another infantry section went down. My goodness, such heavy infantry casualties suddenly being inflicted upon Donniechan. I mean, that mortar half-track crew must be quite impressed with itself. Look, Heinz, but we are too far away from the front line. Well, the observers tell us it's very good. Oh, hurrah!
We're waiting our orders. Send your orders, sir.
But that is likely to cause Donniechan quite some frustration, understandably enough. And he's actually down to 2 infantry sections after this. I mean, that was a beating of considerable size. And certainly a warning never to underestimate the might of a mortar. Or again, you know, be careful near the front line when you're repairing and other such matters. tank destroyer Donniechan up. We are seeing the Hetzer, though. While it did serve in the time period, it did not actually not see the Western Front until more closer to the time of the Battle of the Ardennes. Let's go look at Donniechan again. Considerably more beaten up, less happy. Though we do see an armoured command truck out, and we also see quite a bit of resources there. Troops charging it at the Panzer Grenadiers. Coming under fire there from the 17-pounder gun. And there we go, Panzerschrecks flying at the 17-pounder gun, threatening to knock it out. Panzer IV forcing away the rest of the Brits. And as soon as this gone, there we go, we are going to be seeing that it will be a direct assault at the headquarters area of Donniechan as the Panzer IV rolls in, machine gun firing, high explosive rounds flying, incendiary grenades getting locked. This is an absolute massacre of Donniechan's troops. Veterancy free, though, for the lieutenant, giving a command point. Brits going down on retreat. But we do see that the armor command truck is up. And of course, hopefully he will be getting some armor then to try and throw back Eweee and the 9th SS Panzer Division as rockets and high explosive shells impact against the headquarters command truck, with the driver rather stoically wondering when he's going to have some tea. And biscuits with that tea, damn it. And there we go, the armor headquarters command truck goes up in flames and smoke. We're seeing a supply headquarters command truck number 2 arriving, and at the same time we are seeing a Cromwell tank on the way. Brits are advancing, firing away at the Jerry as much as he can, but we are seeing the Panzer IV quickly rolling out. And mortar rounds flying in from above. Nasty stuff. And a staghound as well. Yeah. Not a huge fan of that. I think a command tank would have been better, would have increased the rate of fire of the Cromwell tank, making it that much more lethal. But nonetheless, headquarters command truck going up, securing the fuel and munitions right there, shifting the entire disposition and placement of his forces from a bit here now to sort of more curved towards fully the right side. And we are seeing a Panzer command going up for Eweee. He could try and go for the Panther battle group. Would certainly not be a wrong move to make. And there we go, the Cromwell tank is ready. And 11th Armoured was, well, I think the only division actually to be fully equipped with Cromwell tanks. Other divisions usually only had them in their reconnaissance company, or cavalry company I think it was called, since the Cromwell was actually quite suited for reconnaissance due to its higher speed. Plus, of course, speed combined with otherwise decent armour and a good gun compared to other reconnaissance tanks, you know, meant it rather had an advantage there. But the 11th Armoured was the only one to really have fully that, so of course they actually had quite a few medium tanks or cavalry tanks as the British considered them. As the British also had a slight different view on armoured doctrine, which somewhat mirrored the French, which was a bit more World War I doctrine, whereas others figured more into, you know, light, medium and heavy. But we are seeing the Panzers moving up there. Panzerschrecks connecting with the Cromwell, but we do see the Panzers quickly out there, but the Cromwell does get one Panzer Grenadier on the retreat. So how shall Eweee react to this? A front from the British. Large engagement over there, and all of his Panzer Grenadiers have now been equipped with Panzerschrecks. Not entirely sure that's a fully grand idea as such. You might want something, you know, to help focus down the infantry a bit more solidly.
Again, we are losing a sector.
But we are seeing Eweee going in for some pretty heavy harassment, trying to deny precious resources to Donniechan. Field support truck on the way. Could soon perhaps get another Cromwell. Staghound moving about, coming out of fire from the Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV misses every shot. And we do see the dual Panzerschreck ability has been given from the tank hunter doctrine. Panzer Grenadiers coming under fire from Bren gunners. Staghound pulling away, but gets one Panzer Grenadier in the middle of the road, ending his life in a rather less than hilarious manner.
German target has been knocked out.
And the Schwimmwagen now went down, and we do see the field support truck arriving, backing up there towards that munitions point. It would look like we're also seeing priests being prepared. Cromwell coming under direct fighting, a few hits getting into the building, stack and rolling about, could actually end up taking quite a bit of damage as Panzerschreck after Panzerschreck flies at the Staghound, doing terrible damage. In particular now the engine is damaged. And there we go, volley after volley of Panzerschreck, fire flying out of the house and just wrecking the Staghound. And we're seeing a Firefly on the way here. And note here, he's actually using the Panzerschrecks to clear away the blockage, opening up the lines of fire.
To the arty line.
So that is quite interesting to see. But interestingly enough, despite Donniechan's weakness right here, he's not pushing on. I mean, he could easily launch a full assault here and knocked out, wiped out, in fact, completely Donniechan, but apparently, I mean, he's worried about something. He's just not attacking. And that's actually giving Donniechan the time he needs to actually get something that could throw back an assault. So in that sense, I do believe Eweee here is making a very grim mistake and suddenly getting very passive, getting very timid, getting very nervous. Cromwell, though, is getting repaired. We are seeing expert repairs on the way for the sappers. That shall definitely do good. And definitely able to help against the Panzerschrecks, as the Cromwell will then be able to absorb a bit more fire from the Panzer Grenadiers.
We're losing a strategic location.
But it is time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation a bit 50-50 again. Largely already explained Ewee's current situation. I think he's being a bit too passive. I think he needs to push forward and do some damage instead of sitting back, which is currently what he's doing, just holding on to the victory point instead of going in and pretty much just finishing off Donniechan, and that way actually giving him more time to recover. We are seeing possibly, no, not more Cromwells, although I think, I mean, for Donniechan's case, he needs something to deal initially with the Panzer Grenadiers, with Panzerschrecks. More Cromwells in that way would be the more optimal choice. Perhaps also some more infantry. In fact, he is getting more infantry, and that is another problem, you know, for Eweee. He's only really got the Panzer IV now to deal with infantry, which rather means, you know, deal with the Panzer IV, say, you know, using a Firefly, and then, you know, there's just the infantry to mop up, and that's going to be much easier because you get no anti-infantry weapons on the Panzer Grenadiers. In particular, due to the double Panzerschreck upgrade, which really means they're going to be terrible against infantry. So that's actually quite a mistake there by Eweee, and something that could actually end up hurting him very greatly. But for now, Donniechan needs that Panzer IV gone, needs to just push forwards.
Papers are final. You're a tank commander now.
There we go. Firefly upgrade with the tank commander. And mortar half-track firing away. Going to bomb some Britisher. No, that was a very off-key incendiary round. Panzer Grenadiers unleashing Panzerschreck death. Mortar rounds flying down as the Brits move up against the Panzer Grenadiers. Another section soon ready, and there we go. And Panthers rolling up. Panthers arriving from the 9th SS Panther Battalion, shooting away at the Brits, coming a bit under fire from their own mortars, in fact. And actually taking a bit of very minute damage, but still some. Huh. And of course now for Donniechan, he needs something to deal with those Panthers, which means likely at this stage more Fireflies. So of course the question is if he actually gets that. Or what he then proceeds to do.
Forward OP is reporting a sector is under attack.
Radio up here. Go ahead.
But he is slowly advancing. Moving up his Panzer Grenadiers again. Spreading them out a bit, but not really supporting them with armor or mortar half-track. And we are seeing Donniechan also splitting up his forces, one more armored component with light infantry support, and then the more heavy infantry component with no armor support at all. Panzers are moving in from the north, coming under fire right here. And there we go, nice hit from the Cromwell, wipes out two Panzers, and we could see a recce shot. No, misses! Or something. No, he got him, and that means one Panzer squad down. Already we are seeing the others moving up, but where are the bloody tanks? Why is Eweee sending in his infantry without armor support? He just wasted two squads of Panzer Grenadiers right there, absolutely senselessly. I mean, had he moved up the Panthers and the Panzer IV, that would have been a much more greater threat to Donniechan. Instead, the Panzers were sent in without supporting again. Terror against infantry due to the dual Panzergrenadier upgrades, and they were just mutilated. Never mind that Cromwells did terrible damage. That was just mind-boggling from Eweee right there. I mean, the others seemed to have control of things, and then that came. So that was just one hell of a shame. We are seeing another Firefly on the way, as the Panthers still prove a bit of a problem. But now, without infantry support, without all those Panzers like each other could have been provided, I mean, they are also going to be a bit more vulnerable. So Eweee definitely needs to be careful. Definitely needs to be careful.
Oi, listen up, gents.
Cromwell on alert, ready for battle orders.
Another Sherman Firefly ready, giving him 2. Usually those Fireflies were doled out 1 per, well, platoon of Shermans, Cromwells, since they never really had enough Fireflies. So instead of, trying to focus them into one bunch where they might be easily counted, they just spread them out a bit. Of course, they also did a bit to perhaps, make other tanks look like Fireflies, while making the Fireflies not look like them, which did not quite succeed. On the other hand, certainly the Germans knew how to focus them down first. But we are now seeing the Fireflies coming under fire. Panthers opening up, although again note, Fireflies have quite an incredible range. And again, if you can combine that with the Cromwell command tank, that can actually make Fireflies quite devastating. But we are seeing Panthers moving up, we're seeing Cromwell coming under fire from the Panthers. Panzergrenadier moving up to try and deal with the Cromwell, but at the same time the Panthers getting buttoned down. Fireflies opening up, volley after volley, infantry getting mutilated by the Panzer IV and the mortar half-tech Panther and Panzer VI. Well, Panzergrenadiers moving up. Incendiary rounds on the half-tech Panther, pulls away. Cromwell succeeds in escaping the grasp of the Panzerkampfwagen 5, but exposes its rear. Don't expose the rear. And now we do see the Fireflies really exposed. Will Eweee be able to get Donniechan's Fireflies and end them once and for all? And there we go, a heavy fire inflicted upon it. Cromwell, though, rolls forwards and actually crushes several Panzergrenadiers beneath its treads. A very heroic sacrifice. Swift counterattack from the bridge, and we do see a Panzergrenadier squad could go down. A Panzergrenadier is all being dropped. And he goes down. That's another squad of Panzergrenadiers going down for Eweee. He really needs to be careful with his infantry. He's just wasting it all of a sudden now. And one can certainly argue that Eweee perhaps needs to work on his infantry. And there we go, button down. The Firefly, or at least one of them, rolls forwards again to get off a good shot or 2 on the Panther. Mortar rounds continue to fall down on the British troops, but they largely survive. Both Panthers are in a terrible condition. More Panzergrenadiers will be needed to repair, and increased squad size is also on the way. At the same time, British are moving in, flanking and harassing on the far west with a Veterans 1 captain.
We are now capable of larger squads.
And increased squad size. Is that another Panzergrenadier squad on the way for Eweee?
Tankbusters ready to move, sir.
Prepare. Oh dear. And a fresh casualty station going out for Donniechan to help heal his troops and perhaps even pull back some of the wounded. And then we got another squad arrives for Donniechan. And he actually now, Eweee now actually equipping them with assault rifles with a Sturmgewehr. And there we go, finally getting around to repairing that Panther. Brit dying for King George. Right viciously there. And immediately repairing the other Panther as well. But we are seeing the Fireflies rolling up, and we are going to be seeing that Eweee is going to be a bit exposed. He could try and currently buff up the Panthers with, say, a Marder or 2 to provide some longer range fire. And he lost the Panther. Oh dear, he should have pulled it away from the front line. And now it's going to send in the Panzer squad again without support. On its own, it's going to be an easy target. And we are going to see Donniechan's infantry quickly charging forward to deal with it. And Veterans 3 Bren guns. Oh, mortar round hit kills one of them, but nonetheless, Veterans 3 Bren gunners is enough something to be You know, watch off. Artillery going in on the Panzer Grenadiers and the Panzer IV. And there we go. Panzer is getting absolutely mutilated. Managed to retreat though. Panzer IV's way. Mortar half-track very close to going down. At the same time, Captain harassing rather viciously on the west.
Receiving you, Commander.
And Ewee's infantry will need some repairs, and that, I mean reinforcement, that Panther's yet to be fully repaired yet. British infantry though continuing, clearly intent on getting that mortar half-track. Now the Panther is taking heavy damage from the Fireflies, needs to be careful. Panzer Grenadiers are advancing as swiftly as they can to try and do what they can, but the Fireflies are on a mission.
Receiving loud and clear.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
And looks like the Panzer IV will be going down now. Or will it actually manage to escape the grasp of the Commonwealth? And there you go, Panzer impact. Oh, there we go, Firefly out of control. Knocking it out, finishing it off. Panzer IV destroyed engine, destroyed main gun. Flak feeling, with wind firing, well, flak feeling actually, damn it. Keep messing them up. But firing away at the sides of the Firefly, not actually doing any damage. Although making a bit of a bumpy ride for the Firefly crew. And another Panzer Grenadier squad going out for Eweee. I really think he needs to at least consider getting one Marder to try and help deal with the Fireflies. Might prove to be beneficial. And he also needs to reinforce these so they can repair it faster. But lots of fire going on there. The mortar half-tracks continue to unleash death upon the British troops. And Donniechan continues to recover after making some blunders. Of course, he can't keep on doing it. And now just more and more Panzer guns going up for Eweee. I think he might be making a slight mistake there. I mean, he's already gotten 4 squads. I think he now needs to begin focusing on, you know, either Marders or a Jagd Panther even. And a priest has arrived. Oh no, he's retreating! He's retreating! Get them out of there! Get away! Get away! Oh dear! No, he's moving the other way now. He's staying within the range of all the artillery. Very dangerous stuff there, Eweee. Very dangerous. Always try to scatter your infantry when they're coming under artillery fire. But there we go, Panther finally repaired. Fighting going on here. Brits push away with the Sturmgewehrs. Eweee has once more gathered him some sort of front. Though it is looking very dangerous, very tenuous. Panther moves forward. Incendiary grenade into the trenches. Bren gun is firing away. Punch strikes flying. Captain almost went down after a direct hit from the Panther. And Brits being pushed out of the trench. And now just a ton of Sturmgewehrs for Eweee. But now, of course, he's a bit more vulnerable to the tanks. It keeps sort of going, you know, fully overboard into one or the other. And now his Panther's getting flanked. Panzer needs to be sent up to support. And again, if only he had some sort of Panther. But now we're seeing the bit that allows him to take points faster. We're seeing Panzers moving up. We'll be trying to get off anti-tank grenades to just clear out the engineers. Sappers, I mean, repairing. And looks like the sappers are just getting murdered right there. No, looks like one sapper makes it out of there. Nope, he dies. Not entirely sure why sending in the sappers completely on their own against, well, the British stronghold. And another infantry assault again without much support. And again, doesn't quite work out for Eweee. And he actually needs to retreat fully now. I think you actually could get a Jagd Panther now, and the Jagd Panther might be able to pull it through for him. Might, though. I'm not making a full guarantee right here. And a Panzer got dropped for Donniechan to secure, and yeah. Of course, now we're going to see a direct strike on his space, because of course he made a full retreat instead of a staggered one. So,
Taking the perimeter. Our base is under attack.
and I do believe he's actually doing a creeping barrage through Ewee's base, but again, you know, another reason to try and avoid blobbing up and making, of course, full retreats afterwards. It also means that if said opponent has some artillery prepared to strike at your base, well, you've just given him the perfect occasion to launch a full barrage straight at it. So, there are in fact numerous reasons, you know, to pull off slightly more intelligent attacks instead of just making full-scale massive infantry assaults. And again, it didn't help again that Eweee continued to spread out his units, sending in infantry without armor and so on. Brits going down on the retreat. Donniechan though holding out nicely. And certainly has managed to more or less cripple the Hun right now, although he's throwing out more Panzer Grenadiers. In an interesting effort.
Enemy fire.
More fire being directed against the German space. And the flak fitting right down there is completely wrecked. But a memory. But time long gone. It looks like the Bren gun is actually good, getting knocked out by the Panzer gunners, but no! A full Firefly movement does force them away with sappers in support.
Now have the Panzerschreck.
And Panzerschreck's being upgraded again for Eweee. Really sounds silly to constantly have to say it, but there you go. Panzerschreck's flank does connect a bit with the Firefly, but again they have to be careful. Lots of infantry, and again the Panzer Grenadiers now can't handle infantry. Captain moving about there on his very much on his own. Panzer is taking heavy, nasty losses and 20 kills in that infantry section. 9 and come on, let me click. 15. And of course 12 kills from that priest for just tearing through the German infantry right down there. I mean, that was absolutely devastating. And for the most part could actually be argued to be a GG moment. But clearly Eweee is not out of the game. He does have 4-man Panzer Grenadier squads. He can upgrade them. Though he has to be a bit careful now. He needs to get his act together. He needs to fight like a proper German soldier.
Battalion HQ is confirmed. It can start securing resources.
And secure resources. Getting more munitions out of the munitions point while the the priest just fires over this 105mm gun. Having a jolly nice day. And more Panzerx again, despite, you know, the whole there's also infantry moving in after you, Eweee. It rather seems like that Eweee can't, you know, find the middle ground. He keeps, you know, either going heavy this or heavy that. There's no, you know, middle ground. There's no balance in Ewee's unit composition. That's very much hurting him. Very much hurting him. More artillery against his base. Trying to get the Firefly. Looks like one of them did go out of control. And Eweee clearly is not giving up. In fact, he's going straight for the armor command truck. Victory points are ticking down for poor Eweee, and his Panzer is over here. The only one with the assault rifles not going to get hunted down by the infantry section with all the upgrades there. Bren gun is opening up with the Panzer Grenadiers. They need to get out of there again. There's still the veterans of 3 Lieutenant, which again means the Bren gun is going to be very, very accurate and very nasty. Oh, Eweee, you klutz. Good. Yes, he's going to lose another section again. Bren gunners are very, very unpleasant to troops that are retreating. They can absolutely devastate them, in particular with the veterans of 3 Lieutenant. So Eweee, I mean, he's just falling apart. And there we go. 3 squads of Panzer Gunners lost again in very short time. Not really looking good for Eweee anymore, despite again having a good advantage here and there, but then just keeps on wasting them. I mean, it's quite impressive how consistently he keeps on doing it.
Standing by. Go ahead. HQ.
Another armored command truck rolling up for Donniechan. And I'm certainly starting to doubt there will be appearing some Yak Panther here for Eweee, and likely also for the better, rather than wasting Yak Panther here on this commander.
Forces are down to 100 points. I say again, 100
And it's opening up again. Sturmgewehrs firing away at the British. Trying to get work done here with them. Defensive veterancy makes them a bit harder to deal with, which is alright. But there we go. They are taking heavy losses again. 2 Bren guns and just closing up to them like that definitely does not work. And there we go. Another squaw is down for Eweee, and he just keeps on throwing away Panzer Grenadiers. Just keeps on at it. My God. Definitely someone bound for the Eastern Front. And we're not talking as an officer. Not in a command position. There you go, another armoured command truck rolling out. The priest continues to enjoy itself. And the lieutenant is also definitely having a nice day just killing Jerrys. I mean, he himself has killed 14! I mean, that rather ought to say something about Ewee's performance at this stage of the match, as he keeps just, you know, losing infantry. And another armoured command truck blowing up, but I mean, on the other hand, Donniechan's actually quite lost a few trucks himself. So I mean, it's not like this has, you know, just been, you know, a complete, you know, walk in the park for Donniechan. I mean, he's certainly made his own mistakes, but ultimately the ones Eweee made are just, in some ways, baffling. And more Bren guns just going up because, again, Donniechan just knows what he needs now, because, again, Ewee's not really doing much else. Again, Eweee does not really have much of a, how shall we say it, diverse force, and again, it basically means that Donniechan just needs a few things to completely counter it. And more artillery, another creeping barrage, tank through the base, and yes, I'm speeding up because might as well finish this off. Another attempt at punch strikes against the priest. But again, his troops are going to get caught down there. We see another stag hound arriving, troops suppressed, and there we go. Eweee and the 9th SS retreat from the battlefield. Eweee in disgrace and likely going to find himself aboard a train towards Leningrad. Despite the fact that's already been lost to the Russians, but no one's going to tell Eweee that. Anyways, brutal fight. I mean, there was some good things from both players, but there were also some mistakes here and there. Donniechan, for starters, don't browse in the first few minutes of the game. That's your own bloody damn fault. I mean, we did see some different play from the British. We actually saw some attempted emplacements, not just, you know, Sim sitting it up, you know, spraying out, having some clever there, but there was some lacking in depth, which basically meant that Eweee could just run up with Panzer and finish it off. So, you know, some work there, but otherwise, only a nice attempt to pen him in early on. Eweee, on the other hand, did alright with the Panzer IV, with the Panzer Grenadiers working together with it, but again, there just came a time where he then just threw away Panzer because he went too heavy on one thing, making a very lopsided force, which Donniechan then just basically needed some few tools, and he could very much easily counter it. That was just terrible to watch. And he just kept at it. There was no, you know, real depth to his force. Again, he could also support the Panthers with some Marders. Would have helped. And the other problem came again. He split up his infantry and his armor. There was no coordination, no support, which basically meant, again, Donniechan, which had the two things working together, could easily defeat Ewee's force. So again, you know, combined arms, bleeding will matter. Do not forget that. Always try to have your forces working together if possible. But that is that fight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. Feedback is always appreciated. Comments are always as well. But this is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and, you know, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Links are in the description.